When you hear the word integrity, what comes to your mind?
Uprightness,
genuinity,
honesty,
rectitude.
Omoluwabi Radio, that is what we represent.
Yes, good afternoon, good day, everyone out there. This is Niyi Kolade, aka Think Up, live and direct on Omoluwabi 87.7 FM, and this is the program Entrepreneurship Spotlight, where we x-ray topics around entrepreneurship and, of course, leadership. By now, we all should be familiar with what entrepreneurship is all about and what entrepreneurship is not. I enjoy myself when I have to talk from experience. Entrepreneurship is real, especially when we have to talk about moving from creativity to innovation. Innovation is what creativity looks like. We are not complete as entrepreneurs if all we carry around is creativity. What makes us successful is when we are able to transform creativity into innovation. Innovation is simply the application of creative solutions to problems and to opportunities to enhance and to enrich people's lives. So, what do you have? Is it creativity or innovation? I've always maintained that entrepreneurial thinking is the ability to move ideas from indoors to industry, from indoors to industry. It always starts from indoors, but that should not end there. We should be able to move creative ideas from indoors to industry. Entrepreneurial thinking is the ability to move from conceptualization to commercialization. Entrepreneurial thinking or entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship is the ability to turn a creative idea into a lucrative opportunity. So it's always a transformation of something to something, and that is from creativity to innovation. From creativity to innovation. So that brings me to where I stopped last weekend. I was talking about the 4 competencies needed to succeed in entrepreneurship. I mentioned competence in the area of creativity. I also mentioned competence in the area of administration. I remember vividly that I also mentioned competence in the area of finance. Last but not least, I did mention competence in the area of sound economic decisions. So let me just, because I've promised that I'm going to conclude on this topic this afternoon today. Now, I mentioned that creativity, no doubt, is the foundation of entrepreneurialism. Before anything can be created at all, it must start on that note, creativity. And like one of my friends would hilariously say, he says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the makeup artist do? So creativity is the foundation of entrepreneurship. If we get it wrong conceptually, we can't get it right commercially. Remember, entrepreneurship is moving from conceptualization to commercialization. So our product idea, our business idea, anything we are trying to conceive in our mind must be right. The foundation must be right. The concept must be right. So we cannot get it wrong conceptually and hope to get it right commercially. So you are struggling to market your product because it may be, one of the reasons may be that fundamentally your product idea is deficient conceptually. So you may need to go back to the foundation. And what is the foundation we are talking about? The foundation of creative thinking. Like Henry Ford says, he says, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably while few people engage in it. A lot of people shy away from thinking, or should I say, no, not shy. They are lazy thinkers. They don't even think. People don't think any longer. And you know what? That is the natural that is supposed to be the natural habitat of an average entrepreneur. I mean, why are you called an entrepreneur if you cannot think creatively? You think to solve problems, you think to provide solutions to problems, you think to innovate, you think to improve on your product and services. Thinking is the hardest work there is. So if you are struggling with your business, it is probably due to the fact that you don't have think tank. You don't have people thinking for you. Like I said the other time, it is not always about you, right? Entrepreneurial success is about work and teamwork, right? The creativity of teamwork is stronger and better than creativity itself. You don't have to be the only person in that organization. Just because you are the CEO or the founder does not really mean that you are the custodian of creativity. There are better thinkers, so you can actually harness the potential of people around you, your staff, your team members, to really get work done. So it is all about creativity, and that is the foundation. I also mentioned administrative competence. This is a very critical area because administration is like a set of rules. Like I said last weekend, I said leadership is the ability to create rules and to set goals. It is the capacity to follow through, to see that goals are accomplished and rules are followed. I'll take that again. Leadership is the ability to create rules and set goals, or set goals and create rules. It is the capacity to now see that, to follow through, to see that goals are accomplished and rules are followed. So creativity needs administration for it to bear its fruit. You need strong administrative capacity to channel creativity aright. Should I say that administration does not necessarily need creative effort? And I would take it practically. You know, the other time I approached my boss at work, I said, there is this persistent and perennial problem that occurs at workplace, and especially with respect to a particular process. And I suggested a creative way to address the problem. And she said to me, no, that would not be necessary. And it dawned on me that, okay, you know, administration is like a set of rules. You can't bend rules. You can't adjust rules. You can't introduce creative or approach to what is like a rule, what is like a tradition, right? I don't know the better way to put it, but administration does not necessarily need creative effort or input, but creativity or creative undertakings would always need administrative direction, would always need administrative effort for creative undertakings to bear its fruits. And I also mentioned financial competence in the area of finance. This is very critical. Also, you know, as entrepreneurs, we don't only know how to make money. We also know how to spend money, right? It is one thing to know how to make money as an entrepreneur. The ability to spend money on the right thing is very critical. You would be faced with so many decisions, situations requiring you to decide effective decision about how to appropriate your finance. So this is very, very key. You have product ideas, you have business opportunities you want to implement, but this is money. This is money at your disposal. The ability to spend money, not only wisely, but effectively, really shows that you are on your way to success as an entrepreneur. If you were to be given $5 million this afternoon, how would you spend it on your product, on your business? What would be your priorities? That is leadership in essence, right? In fact, everything about these competencies, whether creative competence or administrative competence or financial competence, or what I'm going to say last, which is economic competence, everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Leadership is the ability to decide. I didn't even think of that before, but this is actually how to summarize everything I've been saying for the past few weeks. Leadership is the ability to take decisions. Wrong decision rather is better than indecision, like people would say. A wrong decision is better than indecision, and decisions make leaders. The ability to decide, to think decisively, to act decisively makes a leader, makes an entrepreneurial leader. The ability to think decisively and act decisively makes an entrepreneurial leader. So you would make mistakes, right? It is not an aberration for you to make financial mistakes, to make economic mistakes. Let me quickly touch on the last competence, which is economic competence. It is not just enough to say you have one product or this and that. You need the ability to move from a mono-product economy to a multi-product economy. I will take that again. You, as an entrepreneur, I know you are producing a particular product. People know you for a particular product. That is not enough. A mono-product economy is no economy. A mono-product economy is no economy. Somebody produced Coke, for instance. I know that this same company has other products that they are churning out to society, to the public. That is a multi-product economy. So the ability to expand with respect to having varieties of products really shows that you are really competent in the area of your economy as an entrepreneur. You have your personal economy, you have an economy for your business. Your business should not just be involved in producing one commodity or one item or one economic resource. You have to move from a mono-product economy to a multi-product economy. Like I said the other time, a mono economy is no economy. Like one of our past presidents said, he said that Africans or Africa should strive to be globally competitive, right? Producing finished product instead of exporting raw materials. That is another sound economic decision, or in the area of economic competence. The ability to move from raw materials into finished products, not just exporting raw materials. We are fond of exporting raw materials in Africa. We just take it there and that's all we pride ourselves in. We know we have vast abundance of raw materials, mineral resources, but these are the things we export. Rather, we should strive to be globally competitive, exporting finished products. And exporting finished products requires a lot. It requires creative competence, it requires administrative competence, it requires financial competence, and it requires leadership. And this is where I'm going to call it a wrap on that for now before I move to the next topic today. Today I actually meant to come and dialogue with my listeners. I'm going to open the studio line shortly. It's been on air. I mean, everywhere people are now discussing it. People are talking about the fact that vocational training would have to be reintroduced back to the educational curriculum, and our pupils in schools, secondary schools, even tertiary institutions would have to rejig their educational curriculum by introducing vocational training into the curriculum. Now, my question this morning is it vocational training or entrepreneurial thinking that empowers individuals? Or should I rephrase, let me just take the question this way. Which is more empowering, vocational training or entrepreneurial thinking? The studio line is opened. 0805 388 8933. 0805 388 8933 or 0704 700 7999. 0704 700 7999. I await your kind contributions on this matter. Which is more empowering? Which contributes more to economic development? Is it vocational training or entrepreneurial thinking? We know that entrepreneurship contributes, or it actually brings about job creation. It contributes to poverty reduction. It also boosts economic activity. That is entrepreneurship. I would rather somebody knows how to use machine learning, for instance, to solve problems, rather than somebody learning how to use the sewing machine. Did you get that logic? I would rather you know how to use machine learning to solve problems than you being trained on how to use the sewing machine to do what it does, right? Somebody also said this, the invention of the photovoltaic cell, for instance, these are the cells that are actually the components of these solar panels, right? The thinking behind the invention of the photovoltaic cells, for instance, now, we can actually trace it to entrepreneurial thinking. And we can trace the ability or the skill to install solar panels, the smart installation of solar panels, to vocational training. Now, you can be trained on how to install solar panels. But what about the thinking that goes into solving problems and creating value? The studio line, again, is 005 388 8933. Which is more empowering and liberating? Is it vocational training or entrepreneurial thinking? 0704 700 7999. This is still Omoluwabi 87.7 FM, the voice of integrity, with Nii Kolade, aka Think Up. Remember, your gift is your lift. Your gift is your lift. Whether it is a vocation you are into, you are learning a skill, you are trying to acquire one skill or another. Remember, the place of creative and entrepreneurial thinking cannot be overemphasized. Another question is, do you make someone an entrepreneur, or do you make an entrepreneur of someone? That's a very deep one. Let's all ponder on that question. Do we make someone an entrepreneur, or do we make an entrepreneur out of someone? I think the two are correct. It depends on our individual perspectives. This is where I'm going to be calling it a wrap on the show this morning. And I guess people are shying away from that critical questions, from those critical questions rather. And we need these questions. We need to talk about it, which is more economically liberating and personally empowering. Is it to go for vocational training, or to encourage entrepreneurial thinking and give support for our students, our pupils, to have strong entrepreneurial orientation? And this is the segment where I ask a question, and I expect you to call in this time. If you've been shying away to call to answer those questions, now this is the time for you to answer a question and win a token recharge card. The question is this, and it is not a yes or a no question. Answer rather. What is the evidence that somebody is creative? What is the evidence of creativity? Or what is the evidence that someone, whether an organization or an individual or a business, is actually creative or has a strong creative foundation? What is that singular evidence? I know there are so many things you can say, but there is one thing that is very common when you see creativity at work. What is the evidence of creativity? Again, what is the evidence of creativity? I would ask you to send your answer to my personal WhatsApp line this time around, and that is 0806 755 7709. Send your answer to 0